I now request the attention of every mixed martial artist and world champion fighter on planet Earth. I very much appreciate your attention. The intention of this message is to assist in upgrading the mixed martial arts industry to the highest division of all who make up the industry. Stick it over here. The majority of the information in this message has been guided to me by the guardian, for the most part, the guardian angels of the mixed martial arts industry today. The fighters know much better than I do about the hardships that face a champion fighter or mixed martial artist. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to express my understanding of what these hardships are, so that when you are being exposed to the information in this message, you can contemplate my awareness of these issues. And we're going to be offering potential solutions for the betterment of the entire industry. The first area for improvement is the misuse of corporate and media influence by distorting the true nature of the facts of the fighters' personal and professional lives. The next is an invasion of the fighters' privacy and space by intentional and inappropriate timing of pre- and post-fight interviews, weigh-ins, and traveling to and from the fight. The weight classes do not support the fighter's individualism, free will, or highest aspirations of each individual fighter. Fair pay. The amount the fighters currently make does not reflect or compensate for the effort and sacrifices that the fighters are currently making. Alternative employment in the mixed martial arts industry is highly manipulated. So when the fighters go out maybe with an injury or they retire, there should be alternative employment still within the industry, and that's being taken away. The way the fights are scored and judged is highly inaccurate and unfair. The changes in the way licensing works in the MMA industry is currently being arranged and directed by those who are unqualified to make those decisions. The rules of the octagon, they change depending on where you are, and they're often unfair. And healthcare professionals are often not trained or knowledgeable of the problems that are specific to the mixed martial arts industry. And those are some basic points. Basically what the suggestion is for every single mixed martial artist and fighter on this planet is to create a four-dimensional conscious fighting entity. And that's it. Basically, and you can hit that, approach that from every single angle. We suggesting to approach it with technology, with consciousness, and with bureaucracy. Those three avenues. So the first avenue that I'll talk about is technology. In order to create a four-dimensional fighting entity with technology, what is suggested is to create a projection system, which this one's been designed for you here, and this is what it looks like. Here you'll have a camera, a projector, a microphone, a speaker, and a transceiver, all in one unit. Each one of these pink dots represents one of these units. So in one room, what you want to do is put 4 of these right here and put one guy in the middle, and then right next door to it you set that same thing up again, put a guy over here. What you want to do is project this guy into this arena into the form of holographic light. Project this guy into this arena in the form of holographic light. So it appears as though there's 2 people here and there's 2 people here, but only one is going to be a physical being and one is going to be a holographic image. So that's your step 1. And then step 2 is to remove the wires, because this is all going to be wired up when you're first developing it. And what you want to do is remove the wires between these 2 things. So you're doing this wirelessly now. Then the next step is to multi-locate. So this is bilocation. All you're doing is bilocating this guy here and bilocating this guy here, locating in 2 places. Then you're going to want to multi-locate, and multi-locate one of these guys in 5 different arenas at the same time. Then what you'll want to do is branch that out into 3 arenas. So now you're multi-locating. So now basically this arena will multi-locate here and here, this arena will multi-locate here and here, and this arena will multi-locate there and there. And that's the next step. Once you got it to that point, what you want to do is create a projector, which these little black dots represent. So whatever's happening in any one of these octagons can be projected out into any one of these 50 devices. That way, when you're in this arena, you can multi-locate in 50 different places. And make sure you can do that with all 3 arenas. Now obviously you don't want to do all 3 arenas and project these out at the same projector at the same time, because that would just look like a mess. But what you want is to have this, any one of these octagons to be able to project out any one of those 50 devices. And what that will do is replace a television. So basically right now when people are watching a fight, they are looking at it on a 2-dimensional flat screen. You got length and width. So you're going to be adding 2 dimensions to that. You're going to be adding height and you're going to be adding time. So instead of watching the fight on a flat screen, you could project this like into a bar or right out on the ground somewhere. There's anywhere where you had one of these little devices, and you could actually watch the fight in a 4-dimensional point of view, so it looks like the 2 fighters are standing there right in front of you. And then those devices would be sold to different entertainment establishments, bars, restaurants, or wherever that fight is going to be viewed. So I kind of skipped a part here. Anyway, this is what the octagon would actually look like. This is what the projection system would look like. You'd have 26 cameras and they would be embedded in the octagon itself. And then you'd have 1 camera floating above. That's anti-gravity technology. So basically, and you just want 1 on and off switch. So basically once you flick that switch on, whatever's happening in that octagon is being filmed and recorded, and that would alleviate the need for mainstream media, and that would put the control of the media into the hands of the 4-dimensional collective, the fighters themselves. You also want to consider, in the process of this, you also want to consider sound mixing, because I'm not going to get into it on this video, but the next step after this 4-dimensional holographic projection is teleportation, which is real, it is possible, and that's why you want to just have sound mixing in the back of your head when you're putting this together. And then basically, once you got it to this point where you got three octagons and 50 devices, and you've worked all the kinks out, then you build 1,000 of these octagons and mass produce these devices. You put these octagons all over the planet in every country, and the 4-dimensional collective would be in charge of the distribution and creation of these devices. So that's how you do that. And I mean that was just a basic rundown of it, and there's a lot more information that I have there. But that's enough to get started if you guys think that's a good idea. Okay, the next way. Okay, so that's technology. That finishes technology for now. And also, when you begin creating that, angels and extraterrestrial life are well prepared for you guys to begin creating that and actually putting physical effort into it. And when you do begin putting physical effort into it, what's going to happen is beings in other dimensions are going to be telepathically communicating with you, helping you achieve that goal. And they are in other dimensions and well prepared to help you with that project. The next thing is bureaucracy and the contract. The contract that you guys are working with right now with the different industries is highly unfair to you. And I had, okay, here it is. Now this is just a graph I did on UFC 158. Right here. Here's the chart. That UFC 158 made $54.7 million total. 51 million in pay-per-view, 3.7 million at the gate, and out of that 54.7 million, the fighters got paid $1.3 million. And there's the chart. This is an accurate chart. So the effort that all the fighters put into that is that much effort. Then your effort was converted into the form of currency, and all that effort, all that energy was extracted from you, and that's what the fighters got, and that was made. So basically, financially, you guys are getting creamed. So in order to address that issue, what's recommended is that every single martial artist on the planet writes your own contract, and we recommend that you write your own contract in the same language and use the 20 most popular languages on this planet, languages where at least 1% of the population on the planet speaks that language, 1% or more. You're going to come up with about 20 languages. So what's recommended is in those 20 languages, every single martial artist, or professional fighter I should say, write your own contract. And then in each language, merge those contracts together. So it's the best contract in that particular language. So now you have 20 contracts of all different languages. Then you take those 20 contracts and you merge them together into the English language. making one contract for everybody using the English language.